These guys are all better than their accolades. Some of the greatest players we've ever seen who didn't necessarily get the type of award love or accolades that match up to their ability. At number five, we have Charles Barkley, one of the greatest power forwards of all time, one of the greatest players of all time, won an MVP in 1993, carried the Phoenix Suns to the NBA Finals, where unfortunately they met Michael Jordan and weren't able to get over the hump. Because he doesn't have that title, he's kind of known as the person who couldn't get over the hump. Not no slight to him, he still is one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and unfortunately doesn't get as much love because he was never able to break through. And number four, in my opinion, the greatest wide receiver we've ever seen, certainly from a talent standpoint, Randy Moss. Played on many great teams, but was never able to get over the hump. Obviously, the closest he came was in that 18-1 Patriots season where they lost the Super Bowl to the Giants. Again, dominant for over a decade, many records, but because he wasn't able to win that Super Bowl, doesn't necessarily get the love that maybe some others do. And number three, we have Ted Williams, who's on this list for a couple of reasons. One, he's arguably the greatest hitter we've ever seen. Only played a single World Series, so people definitely don't show him the love or put him in those Babe Ruth types of arguments, even though he is a similar caliber of player. But more importantly, he left in the middle of his career because of the World War. And so a chunk of his prime, he basically didn't have the stats that he would have been able to accumulate. You add those up, his numbers look a lot gaudier. It definitely moves up the all time rankings. And number two, we have Barry Sanders. Retired early in his 30s, only made a single playoff run with the Detroit Lions, won a single playoff game in his career. Again, just on some bad teams behind some bad offensive lines. But those who watch the game know that's one of the greatest players who's ever played. And number one, we have Dan Marino. Many people will say he's one of, if not the greatest arm talents we've ever seen. Only made a single Super Bowl his second year, 1984, one of the greatest quarterback seasons we've ever seen. 5,000 yards before that was even a thing, 48 touchdowns, took the Miami Dolphins, a young team, all the way to the Super Bowl. They weren't able to break through, and he never got back. And so it doesn't get the love that somebody like Elway, certainly Montana or Steve Young get. Even somebody like Troy Aikman sometimes gets more love than Dan Marino. But as a pure passer, one of the greatest we've ever seen. Let me know. What do you guys think?